Welcome back to Football Now. This is our final preview video of this weekend's fixtures. This one focused on Sheffield United versus Newcastle at Bramall Lane, 4:30 Sunday afternoon. Joined by Connor again. I'm going to ask you the same question as I've asked you all night, and it's been the same answer. But regardless, how you doing, mate?
Oh, different answer now. It's bittersweet. It's the final one for another week, another full week.
That's it. Like I've mentioned, Sheffield United versus Newcastle. Before we get into that, I'm going to remind everyone of the competition we've got going on at Football Now. On the road to 100 subscribers. We're at the 50 mark, I think, earlier tonight. So halfway there. When we do hit that 100 mark, we'll be giving away a football shirt of the winner's choice. The winner will be picked from the comment sections of not just this video, but of all the other videos that we've done tonight, focusing on this weekend's round of fixtures. So get involved. Let us know your own predictions, what you think is going to happen this weekend. Like and subscribe to, and the announcement will come once we hit that 100 mark. Anyway, this Sunday's game, Sheffield United, Newcastle at Bramall Lane. Connor, do you want to run us through the odds first of all, which should be appearing on screen now?
Yeah, well, Newcastle are listed as a fairly heavy favourites. Just less than 1 to 2, and I think there's value in Sheffield there. I think when you look at Sheffield this season, I mean, they've yet to win a game. They've only got 1 point, and that was against Everton. But they've played well. They've done well. I mean, in that Everton game, right at the death, Jordan Pickford with a double save. They really could have won it. Against Tottenham, they were leading right up until injury time at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium and conceded 2, which to be really disappointed about. I know Paul Heckingbottom was very critical of the referees there. But Manchester City only lost 2-1, played well. Could have actually equalised. It really could have been 2-2. And again, first game of the season. Before that, Nottingham Forest 2-1 defeat, and before that, Crystal Palace. I mean, they'll be disappointed to have only got 1 point, but 5 games played. They're not in the relegation zone. Fair enough, because there's 3 teams who are worse than them. But when you look at the performances and look at the results, when they have lost games, it's only been by 1 goal, and they've had a tough start. They've faced Tottenham, they've faced Manchester City. Forest at the City ground is never easy, so they've done okay, and they've faced a Newcastle side who have started poorly. I mean, their first game of the season, 5-1 against Aston Villa, was a bit of a false dawn, really. I mean, it was an unbelievable result. But since then, they've lost to Manchester City, no shame in that. They lost to Liverpool when Liverpool had 10 men for the majority of the match, and they were leading for the majority of the match. And then, we've spoken about how well Brighton have done, but I would have expected Newcastle to put up a bit more of a fight, but they lost 3-1 to them. Newcastle have now got European football to contend with, just playing against AC Milan. It was a creditable point, but it was a point where it was like, wow, how they got away with that? They were battered. They didn't offer any goal threat whatsoever. Bit of rude awakening, but at least they got something for that. But a little bit, I wouldn't say concerning for Newcastle, but certainly, there's a lot more obstacles and there's a lot more difficulty than what they faced last season. I think it's a good time to face Newcastle, and I think Sheffield, their performances are going to turn into points sometime soon if they keep it up. And I think, I'm just trying to think, Sheffield, can they get something from this game? I think Newcastle is still an excellent side with excellent players. So I think, trying to get 3 points here is going to be difficult. But at Bramall Lane, the ground is bouncing. I do fancy them to get another point on the board here.
Yeah, I think Sheffield United will be fancying this one. Like you said, you mentioned the game Newcastle had yesterday away in Milan. It was a hard-fought point, and you wonder what that'll take out of Newcastle. They really had to dig in at the end. They were hanging on, and it's not like last season. Now they are in Europe, like you said. They got that extra game a week, and then that you can't help but feel that will be a factor. It's not an easy place to go. Bramall Lane, tight to the pitch. Saw Man City. They got over the line at City, but they were pushed hard. We saw what they did to Tottenham as well. They took them to the very end. Paul Heckingbottom's comments after the game, I do wonder whether it's a case of when, not if, that comes back to bite him. I think at some point he will be punished, let's say, by the FA and the Premier League for what he said, rightly or wrongly. I agree with a lot of what he said. But, I think Sheffield United will be fancying their chances. We've mentioned last week and throughout tonight, the home games are important if you want to stay in this league. And I do think, like you said, the timing could be right for them to pick up a big win this weekend against, it's a good Newcastle side. Look, they got back to winning ways against Brentford last week. But I do wonder, you do wonder what that Milan game will have taken out of their legs heading into Sunday's match.
Yeah, sorry, my iPad there with all the matches are just refreshed because we've just gone to midnight. That's why it's refreshed. At midnight, look at how dedicated we are to bringing you the best value here. And talking of value there, I mentioned it at the top of this video. Those odds for Newcastle, there's no value in there. I think whether you think Newcastle are going to win this game or not, I think if you put that in an ACCA, I just don't think you're getting the value at all to take that risk. Again, I think this is going to be one of these bets where you're going to be looking at maybe putting a single on to try and extract the value there. You're getting nearly 4-1 on a Sheffield United draw, and I think that's very creditable. But when you think, they nearly got something against Spurs, they nearly got something against Manchester City. I think that the fact that they've only got 1 point this season, but they're still outside of the relegation zone and they've been playing well, will have them buoyed. I think they'll kick on. I think Paul Heckingbottom will be afforded time. I've seen a couple of whispers that maybe Sheffield have wanted to bring back Chris Wilder. I don't think there's too much substance there. I just think that's empty rumours, but we'll see. I think if that was a consideration, I think it would be pulling the trigger too soon on Paul Heckingbottom because I think he's done a good job. It's always going to be tough back in the Premier League, but I think this is a good fixture for Sheffield in terms of where Newcastle are at. I'm just going to get up Sheffield United's next few games, see what they're looking like. I mean, they've got West Ham at the London Stadium after that, and then Fulham after that. So 2 trips to London, then Manchester United, then Arsenal. So Newcastle now, actually, it's not looking good. To be fair, they've already faced Man City and Spurs. I don't think that that random Premier League fixture computer has been very kind to Sheffield actually at the start of the season. But even still with those fixtures, I think with the way that they've been playing, I don't think it's. I think they can get points out of these games because they've been playing well, and I do think actually they will get something here. I think it'll be. I don't think it'll be a high-scoring affair, but I think Sheffield will be happy with the way that they've been played, and they've not got the points on the board, but the performances are there, and that will turn into points.
Yeah, while you were talking, then I was just looking through the squad and their forward options, and none of their strikers have got a goal yet this season. By the looks of it, I think that is a concern. We've spoken in here with like a broken record about the importance of having someone to score those goals. Obviously, Ollie McBurney as well is now suspended. He got sent off in the final stages against Tottenham. But like you said, I think I wasn't aware that they were those next few games. That Newcastle game now, I think, added significance to it. I know Newcastle were in the Champions League last year, but like you said, they're not in the best of form right now. They've lost, before Brentford, they lost their last 3 games, Newcastle, I think, and they scraped through Brentford. And obviously, it wasn't a great performance midweek, although it was a good point for them in their Champions League return. I agree with you. I think Sheffield United are going to get something. Do you want to give your own prediction first?
Yeah, I think I think they will get something. I think they'll end up taking the lead, but I think Newcastle will pull back in the second half. I don't think it'll end in a 1-1 draw, stalemate at Bramall Lane.
I'm gonna edge to Sheffield United. I'm gonna go 2-1 home win. I'm gonna back them to do it in front of their fans. Look, I wouldn't be surprised, like you said, Newcastle. Maybe it's just a case of waiting for them to click, and they will get some momentum going again. But yeah, I'm going to back Sheffield United to get the result this weekend. A big result for them. I think they need it now, especially with the context of their upcoming fixtures. Having said all that, that concludes our preview for the final game this weekend: Sheffield United versus Newcastle at Bramall Lane, 4:30 live on Sky Sports on Sunday. Before we go, I want to remind everyone, first of all, we've recorded all the videos now for the fixtures this weekend. Go and check the others out on the channel. And as you can see there in the bottom, we've got an ongoing competition here at Football Now on our road to 100 subscribers. We're at the halfway mark right now, but when we do hit that big 100, we will be giving away a football shirt of the winner's choice. The winner will be pulled from the comment section of not just this video, but of the other 9 that we've recorded tonight ahead of this weekend's games.
As well as the others as well on the channel. So make sure you do watch for the next few weeks as well, because the more you comment on all these videos, the more chance you've got of winning.
Exactly that. Get involved. Let us know what you think. And that announcement will come once we do hit that 100 mark. Thank you to everyone who's watched this video and the rest tonight. We hope we've given you good value for the advice we've given. We didn't do too bad.
Value as well.
Yeah, we didn't do too bad, to be fair, last week. I think we both got 6 results right out of 10. It's not bad going, I don't think. Hopefully we can do even better this weekend. We'll see what this weekend brings. Thank you for everyone for tuning in. See you next week, same time.
See you next week, guys.